What are you getting for this stuff?
$50 for that set.
50.
Hey guys, how's it going? Junkzilla here. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. It was a bit of a slow week, but we do have one sale at the end where we buy a whole lot of stuff, and I get a pretty interesting story from a very nice lady. So make sure to stick around for that. If you enjoy the videos, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Helps out the channel a ton, and I love reading your guys' comments. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys at the end.
What are you getting for these here?
So, this is nothing. You a Marine?
No, sir. My dad was military, but I'm not. Tried to be, but I got kicked out. Not kicked out, medically discharged.
So I'm sifting through these knives here. I know a few good brands for knives. The main thing that you want to look for is just that they're not made in China. Usually knives made in China aren't worth anything. Some knives made in Japan are worth a decent amount. For example, this boot knife here that I just found, the brand on it is Valor. But usually you want to be looking for USA made knives. Those are typically the ones that are worth the most money.
$50.
50 bucks. How does it charge?
USDC.
What are you getting on this knife here, sir?
$5.
$5.
Sorry, what would you say on this again? I'm sorry. You told me
60.
on both?
60.
Do you have change for a 20 by chance?
I do.
Okay. I'll do this one.
Hello. Hey. Yeah, your neighbors, are down, so.
Everybody's down. Even Frontier and Spectrum are both down.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's from the solar flares. They said we're the worst in like several decades.
So usually Wagner ware is a good brand for pots and pans. If you can get them cheap, they're usually worth picking up. Usually the lowest end you'll find on them is around 20 bucks. So they were asking $4 for this one. So I go ahead and I take that deal. And this one actually already sold. You'll see the comp at the end.
Are you getting internet again?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're welcome to look them up. That's I've already done. I know what they cost. New. But you're welcome to do that.
Well, thank you.
So this is an older one. Looks really old, actually. But it's not perfect. It's got a spot that could be re-glued there.
So this lady unfortunately had her husband pass away, and she reached out to me and my dad to hopefully get rid of most of the stuff that was in her garage. And so we came out to look at all the stuff. She had some really interesting items. She had all of these leather holsters and reloading equipment. He was actually a professional shooter, which is really cool. He would do quick draw and stuff like that. You'll see a story that she tells me coming up here in a minute. Or not a story, but rather talking about what he used to do. But really cool items here. A lot of really cool belts, holsters, and reloading equipment. Reloading equipment does really well. Leather stuff always sells really well as well. So overall, a very cool find here. And you know, since it was such an unfortunate circumstance, we wanted to give her the best deal that we possibly could, which you'll see coming up here in a minute, and I'll talk a little more about.
And this is a tumbler for
Yeah,
the
that goes
shells.
to that stuff over there.
Oh, okay. Oh, it goes in something.
Over there on that bench. You see where it says NRA on top?
NRA.
That little bag on top. Says
Oh, here?
There's a whole set of stuff of tumblers and
Oh, I see, I see.
all kinds of stuff there. $100 takes all of it.
So this goes here.
Yes, that goes with that stack of stuff.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna set this here so we kind of know.
Many of his cowboy friends has got most of his stuff. And the nymphs.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
And this is the original kit.
Oh, how cool. Oh, and he's still got all the stuff.
Yep.
There's your piece to do your vise.
So that's gonna be for sale.
Yes, ma'am. Do you mind if I peek inside?
You go ahead, I gotta
You
go.
got all kinds of cool stuff. I was telling my son, I said, I bet when we get there, she has more than just what she said. I had a feeling you would have other cool things.
So the original
Yeah,
prices that
it's
we were
just-
given
a lot of
were
times the really cool
$150
stuff
for the
doesn't have a
belts
make
and
product, 'cause it's
holsters,
some guy in the
$300
basement
for the reloading
or in
equipment
his
on that
garage
round
that
table,
did it.
$100 for
Like
the
this one, I don't
reloading
see any name
equipment
on it.
on the side
Just put the
table,
name on that
and then she didn't give us a price for the fly fishing stuff because she brought that out after. So me and my dad talked a
name on
little
the
bit,
pre-gun,
and we
yeah.
thought a fair price to offer her, with the initial items being around $550, would be $600, including the fly fishing stuff.
Single action
And
cowboy
the
shooting.
weather
Did he
vane
really?
was something that
Is
she
he pretty
wanted to
good at
sell
that?
as well.
First,
We
second,
thought
or
that
third
would
place.
be
Nice.
probably the
That's
most we
hard.
could pay and still do
That's hard to
very
do right there.
still do well on the items.
Where is it?
So that's what we offer her. My dad talked a little bit about offering her $500 first, just so we had some wiggle room.
Well,
And
everybody's
I
out of
just
Texas.
didn't feel.
All these
I felt
guys
like
are
I
out
wanted
of
to give her
Texas.
our
Where they
best
make all their
price. The first thing, so that way we didn't have to do any back and forth. This is a hard enough process for her as it is. I wanted to
Oh,
be
the
very
torch, yes,
straightforward on what we could offer. And so you'll see that coming up here in just a second.
Load it up.
All right, you got it. Let's pay the
Thank
young
you.
lady. Thank you very much. You want to get some bins out and
I can do that.
yeah, you want me to let the gate down and I'll pay you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll pay you, Michael. Don't worry.
I knew you would. So you said your husband was a champion shooter?
Yes.
That's really cool. How did he get into that? Do you know?
He was an artillery man in Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
And he commanded an artillery post.
That's so cool.
And that's where, and he'd been shooting all his life, so
Yeah.
he was into guns during his military service and when he was a youth, and it just kept going.
That's so neat.
He actually knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's something special to be able to do. So would he do like the quick draw and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, he was fast in seconds. You don't want to stand in front of that man.
Oh yeah, I bet. That's so neat. That's a sport you don't see too often, or hear about too often, I would say. Very, very cool.
Alright, starting off the comps here, we got this Dillon RL 550B reloading press. We actually looked up the wrong model when the lady initially sent us a picture of this, so we thought it was going to be worth around $300. We actually corrected it when we got back to the shop, and we sold that for $600. We also have this tipped-in gun vise. It's to clean the guns. Looks like that's worth about $75 with free shipping, so probably about $50 in actuality. And then we have this Lee Precision reloading press. We have two of those. Looks like they're worth about $90 with free shipping, so probably around $80 in actuality. And then we also have another Lee reloading press. Looks like this one could be worth around $175 plus shipping, so another great pickup here. And then we also have this Turbo Digital gun part cleaner. Looks like this is worth around $50 plus shipping. And then we also picked up this Dillon Tumbler vibratory case cleaner. Looks like this is worth around $125 with free shipping, so probably around $100 actually once you include shipping. And then we also have this really cool Brownells bag. Don't know what this is worth, couldn't find a comp on it, but we have it up for $80 right now. We thought it was a really cool piece, so we're gonna go from there. Alright, continuing on the comps here, we have this Wagner Ware Magnalite that you saw earlier in the video. Picked this up for $4. I already sold it for $22 plus shipping. One thing I did forget to check while I was at the sale, you always want to kind of spin the pan around to make sure that it's flat and doesn't have a bubble on the bottom. That one did, but it still sold for $20, so it was still a good pickup either way. And then I also picked up this vintage Valor boot knife with the sheath for $5. I already sold this for $35 plus shipping, so another great pickup. And then Dadzilla picked up this Waterford cut crystal clock. Picked this up for $1. It looks like new they sell for around $40, so maybe expect around half of that. And then I picked up 2 of these DreamBot vacuums. One is open box, one is pre-owned. Looks like open box they're selling for around $550 in free shipping. So pre-owned will probably be around $250 to $300. I couldn't find a pre-owned comp right this second, but overall going to do very well on these because I paid $100 a piece for them. Then at the auction, Dadzilla picked up these Parker multi-purpose hoses. They're 200 foot per spool. Looks like the whole spool can go for around $500. The comp I'm showing you is going to have best offer accepted, but still per foot they go for around $7 to $15. So we're going to do very well on that. We got those for $40 a spool, so we're going to kill on those. And then I picked up this Bush Mink vacuum pump. Got this for $200 at the auction, and it just sold for $2,000. So don't be afraid of items like this, because if you have the tools to deal with them, you know, if you have, there I am waving, if you have a pallet jack or, you know, dollies, stuff like that, they're really not as much of an inconvenience as you would think they would be. And because of them being an inconvenience to people who don't have the supplies, you can make an absolute killing on them. And then Dadzilla picked up these wobble lights, not to be confused with the Wobble Light Juniors. People are asking around $300 for each of these right now, and we picked them up for $40 a piece, and they do all work. So another great auction score here. And then at the auction, I picked up these GE Convex Array Ultrasound Transducer. Picked this up for $40. It looks like it could go for around $120. The comps you're going to see on screen are best offer accepted, but I went on TerraPeak and it looks like it's around $120. Even with a little repair needed like that, I'm still going to do fairly well on that. And then Dadzilla picked up this Cat's Cheetah XT80 knife, also made in Japan. He picked this up for $50. Looks like it goes for around $80 to $90 with free shipping. So he was a little off on this one, but, you know, still going to make a little bit of money here. And then Dadzilla also picked up this Adele biometric fingerprint door lock. Picked this up for $15. People are asking around $150 for them right now. That is the only comp that I could find, though. And then my dad picked up this Hitachi 18-volt cordless drill with the case and the battery for $5, and it looks like just the drill goes for around $30. And then on the complete buyout, we got this antique nautical weather vane. This was a really cool piece. I'm showing a few similar comps here on screen. We'll probably be expecting somewhere between 100 to 150. But this was a really neat piece. We weren't expecting it to be as good as it was. Definitely a cool one though. And then also at the auction, I picked up 9 of these EuroClean GD930H vacuums. Picked each of them up for $40. I've already sold 2, one for $170 and one for $140. So I've already almost made my money back on these. I'm going to do very well on these. This was overall a great score at the auction. And then the last piece from the complete buyout is all these leather belts and holsters. I apologize about the video quality. I'll make sure not to record items on the floor anymore, as the floor messes with the focus on the camera. I'm not going to show every single comp here because it is hard to find some of these belts since they are made by unique people and not always a large company. I already sold a few of the belts, so I'll put the comps on screen as we go over them. I just wanted to talk about something that my dad said to the lady that we bought these from that I think kind of put her a little at ease and is a nice way to think about what we do for a living. He was talking to her about the fact that when we buy something, we're reselling it to someone who genuinely has a love for it. You know, it's not going to go in the trash. These holsters and belts are going to go to somebody who are going to love them, who are going to use them, and who are going to get a lot of time out of them. So, you know, those memories are not dying, but they're going to another person for them to love just as much as I'm sure her husband did, which I thought was a really lovely way to put us helping her, you know, clean out his old belongings. You know, it's always a hard process, but we like to try to make it as easy on those people as possible. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Let me know what your favorite items were down below, if you want to see anything different, how you thought the video was laid out. Any feedback is always appreciated, even the negative ones. I get a kick out of reading the negative comments sometimes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.